welcome to my updates on the industry news. And today we are going to start with some fashion campaigns, and we are also going to look into photography competitions. So don't go away. So first campaign we are going to look at is Steve Madden with Winnie Harlow, famous fashion model, 2020 campaign. As you know, Steve Madden is a shoe brand, so the focus here is on the shoes. By the way, it was shot by Stephen Klein, who is a big name in the industry, and that's why this campaign actually caught my eye, because I want you guys to also keep up with what the big photographers are doing and what are they up to. So yeah, the focus is on the shoes here, and I really find interesting the choice of lighting here, which is kind of her face is almost not in the light, slightly darker. The light is mostly focusing on her legs and her feet. Quite an interesting combination of a warmer light versus cooler background blue shadow. Nice contrast, the blue and this yellow lemonish kind of tone of her shoes. In general, it's a really cool vibe, very, very youth kind of culture with that big boombox on her shoulder, very 90s, 80s, 90s youth culture. Shiny outfit, and it's very vibrant, but at the same time her pose and her expression is very classic, very I would say maybe something that is not so common these days in with more younger fashion photographers. This expression, to me, this pose is more powerful, more of a 90s kind of style, which kind of goes together with the outfit and the boombox really well. So quite an interesting shot. Let's take a look at the next one. Also quite sexy and playful. Again, the focus is on the shoes, of course. Look at all these accessories, and again, the props, and everything is very bold and colorful. Quite interesting light again, with the blue shadow in the back, warm light on her. Maybe the shadow here is less prominent, but the composition, I think I even like this better, because it's more of a spur of a moment kind of shot, where she just happened to be there. It's like a little off balance, it's a little off center, which I like. I think it's more more dynamic and reflects that kind of mood that they're trying to create here with the whole message of this campaign. So yeah, that's this, and let's take a look at another campaign that caught my eye. It's a collaboration of Paul Smith with Farfetch. Farfetch is a big fashion online retailer. Shot by Annie Lai, I'm not sure. I think it's quite special. I really love the spontaneity of these shots. It's really like as if the photographer was together with this person on a train, and just ask them, oh, can I take a picture of you? It's all the elements that actually reflect the spontaneity work together really well. It's the natural light. It's kind of like very casually styled. It's not perfectly arranged, these elements of the trench coat, of the outfit. It's the light hitting the background, hitting his face, and like these shadows and these pieces of sunlight. Is very casual and very warm, and it's very spontaneous looking altogether, and that's what probably attracted me the most, because it's so real and I connect with his gaze so well too. And another example from this campaign, it's also, I think it's inside the train, which looks very retro, and again, I think nostalgic feelings, as long as it coincides with the values of the brand. they work really well with the consumer, with the viewer. If you bring out some nostalgia, I think it really attracts everyone. And I also really like the styling here, very casual, very soft, sort of, how he's posing, how he's looking at you is, yeah, not a strong, um, you know, pose, not a strong message at the camera, kind of look at me. He's just standing there in a very, very soft facial expression. I like that casual sunlight again inside there, and really warm tones. I don't know if it was shot digital or film, but it really brings out that nostalgic film look. So very, really lovely campaign. Next one, shot by Lena C. Emery for Manu Atelier, Spring Summer 2020 campaign. I'm not sure if it's a French brand and how I'm supposed to pronounce it, but you guys get it. What I really love about this campaign is the use of lighting and the use of focal length. There's a super wide angle distorting the shoes here on the left, and this kind of like you know very bold, but at the same time not really carrying kind of facial expressions on the facial expression on the right. And somehow this pairing, these two shots next to each other, it works so well. And black and white, of course, helps, but also like these lines, on the shoes coming into the frame, and these lines on the bag also casually positioned on her, like around her body, wrapped around her shoulders. So I think it's a really interesting and really refreshing mood, although it gives you all sorts of references towards early 20th century photography, and them experimenting with black and white and wide angles and things like that. But in the current day and age, I think it's pretty refreshing to see this. And another shot from the same campaign, which also gives some references to this classic fashion photography, but also like fine arts photography. And I really like, again, the pairing, the composition of her very casually sitting, like her arms crossed, cool shoes, again, that very relaxed expression, like not really caring at the camera, very, very simple and clean overall. And the shoes wrapped in together with some, I don't know, blanket or something like that. In this, again, like very retro kind of way of wrapping things. And so it makes it look very graphic, and the shoes placed in there, the two elements that stand out really well. And then the shoes here also stand out really well. So I don't know, I think the photographer really nailed the style, and really, together with probably the creative directors of the brand, they really created this really strong message about what this brand is actually about. So I hope you see what you see and you find it as interesting as I found it. And another thing that I want to discuss with you today is an importance to submit your work and to follow different competitions and exhibitions, to really see what's happening in the industry, both commercial photography and fine arts photography. And actually a lot of competitions have both categories, fine art and commercial. And within commercial you will find, in fashion category, portraits can be in both categories, landscapes and things like that. So it doesn't really matter what you are into, but it is really important to see what is being recognized in the industry, what's getting awards, and also participate yourself, because first of all, it gives you more recognition, visibility, even if you don't get the first prize. If you are included in the gallery there, people will see your work, it's more exposure. And if you do win something or even make it in a short list, it boosts your confidence. And it's nice to put on your resume, of course, to for your clients and maybe magazine editors to see that your work was recognized by this very important competition. So this one is IPA, International Photography Awards. The organization who created this contest is based in the US. It's called Lucy Foundation, and they've been doing this for years. I'm actually not sure how many years, but we can check back to 2004 actually here. And they do a really nice ceremony for winners, but that's probably not the most important part. And I really like exploring and see who has won. So this is 2019 awards, and you can see, there's this category, film photographer of the year, and even to see what people are doing in different categories and being inspired by other genres, I find it super helpful and broadening my perspective. And you see what subjects are also getting more attention, like transgender issues, photojournalism, environment, conflicts, what kind of portraits are getting attention, what kind of faces. Beat Cancer campaign, for example, got an award. Environmental campaigns, like I already mentioned. But there's also beauty and advertising and fashion campaigns. So all sorts of genres and all sorts of inspiration that you can get from here. And I definitely encourage, there are professional categories, there are amateur categories, and I think if you choose your competitions carefully. Of course, you may argue, you have to pay to submit your work there, but if you choose it carefully, you don't spend that much money. Like, for example, this competition is definitely worth it because of the judges who are very, very recognized in the field, and you will definitely get a big exposure if your work is selected for a shortlist, for example. So so that's just one, and I will be giving you update on others. So definitely check this out, see who's in the jury here, who are the curators, and give it a shot this year. It's still open for submissions, so I definitely encourage you to submit something. And thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and if you'd like to support me, there's my Patreon account. If you scroll down and see all the links below, you will find how to follow me and how to support me. Thank you.